when Latino Americans are twice as likely to be victims of gun homicides. But again, instead of passing reasonable gun safety laws, these extremists suggest teachers should just strap on a gun in their classroom. This on top of an agenda to ban books and to prevent—
Up in Miami. You wrong for that, man. I thought you was loyal, Dane. I thought you was different, Dane.
This is surprising news. Inflation is actually going up. Now, it has reached the highest level since the gas prices last year. And analysts say that retirees could benefit from the recent spike in gas prices, and even big monthly benefit boosts could be on the way. So, if you're a retiree who received Social Security benefits, you're likely anticipating an important event that's just around the corner. Each year in mid-October, the Social Security Administration reveals a crucial announcement, and that is the cost of living adjustment. This adjustment determines how much your Social Security payments will increase in the upcoming year. Recently, the report on August inflation rates brought favorable news for Social Security beneficiaries, thanks to an unexpected source. Now, the CPI-U, a primary inflation gauge, has recorded its highest monthly increase of the year in August. Now, the main driver behind the surge in inflation was the substantial hike in gas prices. Price of oil has climbed throughout the year and has continued to rise in September. Now, OPEC has largely been reducing production for several months, resulting in the highest gas price in the U.S. all year. The timing of oil prices is actually significant for retirees because the third quarter is the only period that influences the COLA calculation. Additionally, gas prices are among the most volatile components of the inflation rate, and retirees typically spend less on gas compared to working individuals, as they no longer need to commute to work. So while the CPI-W have slightly different weighings and cover varying percentages of the population, the numbers tend to closely align. With oil prices remaining high, it's expected that the CPI will resemble the August figures, meaning Social Security COLA is likely to fall 3%. While nobody enjoys paying high gas prices, it's essential to note that gas prices are volatile, and today's prices may not accurately predict their levels in a few months. There is a reason to be optimistic about gas prices decreasing in the near future as well. It's because of this. Well, gas stations are expected to switch to a less expensive winter blend of gas, and gas prices typically drop during the colder months as demand decreases after the summer travel season. Considering the average monthly Social Security benefit is currently around $1,800, recipients can anticipate a huge COLA increase of approximately $60 next year, with the recent surge in gas prices contributing significantly to that boost. The official COLA figure will be known in a few weeks after the release of the September CPI data in mid-October. But if gas prices stabilize during the winter months, retirees may benefit from an increased cost of living adjustment to the Social Security payments. Even Jerome Powell and his colleagues said the recent rise in energy prices just complicates the mission to tame inflation, and Fed watchers say Powell is unlikely to overact to near $4 a gallon for gas. It's happening. The millions of people may see a drastic increase and decrease in the monthly benefit checks. Direct deposit of checks or set to go out to Social Security recipients may be adjusted from the federal government. And there's some shocking news. A new Congressional Budget Office reports projects that an even more dire outlook for Social Security's future than was previously calculated. Without action to fix this situation, huge benefit cuts for recipients will begin in 2033, and preventing those cuts will require massive tax increases for working Americans beginning immediately. In contrast to the Social Security's trustees' own projections, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that Social Security's combined retirement and disability insurance programs will run out of money again just 2 years earlier. And now that tax increases necessary to fund scheduled benefits are higher than the Social Security's trustees projected. The trustees also assumed only 4.5% price inflation in 2022 and 2.3% in 2023, while the CBO report accounted for the recent 8.7% cost of living increase. According to economists, Social Security's future is not secure. The program is running out of time and money. Recent increases in government spending and debt have crowded out options for reform, and virtually all Americans stand to lose some policy enactment. The Congressional Budget Office report stated that there are 5 main issues right now with Social Security. And the first is that Social Security has a spending problem. Social Security will only be able to pay out 2% tax, and the program promised to take never more than 6% of a worker's paycheck. Today it takes 12%, and even that falls short of the program's ever-rising cost. The Congressional Budget Office projects that Social Security's costs will increase by 42% of the next 75 years, as its revenues remain stable. Protecting Social Security requires reining in on the excessive cost growth, and action means benefit cuts of 23%. Current law requires that Social Security benefits come from within the program, so once fund draw runs dry, Social Security will only be able to pay as much as benefits as it receives in taxes. That will mean a roughly $5,000 cut in annual benefits for a typical retiree, and about $4,000 less for the average disability beneficiary. Congressional Budget Office also stated that as of right now, anyone who is 65 or older will not reach today's Social Security retirement age. That's before the age of money runs out. Also, anyone who is currently below the ages of 57 and 107 today, who is still alive and collecting benefits in 2033, will be subject to benefit cuts. It's also predicted that younger workers have the most to lose in benefits. Because if policymakers fail to act and benefit cuts begin in 2033, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that people born in 1970 will experience a 26% reduction, and those born in the 80s and 90s will receive a 27% reduction. It's preventing insolvency to tax increases. It would require 18% tax roll, and now the Congressional Budget Office says that maintaining Social Security scheduled benefits for the next 75 years would require an immediate increase in Social Security payroll tax from 12 to 17%. This would mean $12,000 in Social Security taxes for the median household that has about $71,000 of income. Adding in Medicare and federal and state income taxes will bring the median household's marginal tax rate to 48%. And the number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits increased less than expected last week, pointing to a still tight labor market, while the economy rebounded faster than previously estimated.
Have countries actually succeeded in using this language to defend their laws protecting consumers or workers or the environment?
It's quite infrequent. Less than 5% of the cases where at the WTO where regulations were challenged as illegal trade barriers were upheld under these necessary and legitimacy type tests. So it's very difficult to survive under these particular policy caveats. But as I said, I think it's going to be harder with digital because we have so little regulatory infrastructure and foundation upon which to defend the legitimacy and the necessity of the regulation. So as we're this is a world where we're just beginning to confront the concerns of this. And there are a bunch of laws being considered in Congress that would affect things like digital privacy and monopolistic platform practices that could run afoul of these digital trade rules. I would add on the privacy issues, the language in the USMCA specifically says it must be necessary and proportionate to the risk, which is sort of an even higher threshold to defend future privacy rules. So all of this, look, there's a good reason to consider protecting privacy and protecting the data that is behind privacy for things, as have been said on this panel already, on things like biometrics, on health data, on financial data. There are good reasons to exclude those kinds of personal data from the digital, from the free flow of data and data